Hare Krishna. Today we will look at chapter 16 of the 11th Canto, the Lord's Opulence. Omagyanatimandasyam Sakshurun militam yena tasmai sigurave namaha. Namam Vishnu Padai Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gaurvani Pacharani. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Dasatarani. Uddhava have just heard about the process of gaining mystic perfection. These processes were concerned with meditation on the Lord in different parts, facets, and aspects. So that was how the yogis gained mystic power. It was also a description of how the Lord acts through the material energy and how the material energy depends on the Lord. One of the meditations was to concentrate on Lord Mahavishnu and the form of the Mahatattva, the form of Krishna that rewards everyone through reactions. That gives potency to one who wants karma siddhi. Really, it is a meditation on the fact that Krishna is the one who is rewarding anyone the fruitive results, and they are getting and will get. Everyone is depending on the Mahatattva and the sutra going through is ultimately on Krishna. So it is Krishna who is the active principle in rewarding everyone. It's a time factor, it's a sound factor that allows one to hear. He is pervading the entire material existence. And we can get a drop of that potency that Krishna has. Krishna has an ocean of potency. We can get a drop just by meditation. One can get a drop of the ocean of Krishna's potencies just by focusing the consciousness on him. So how ultimately powerful is he? Of course, it is a rhetorical question. We can't answer that question. How unlimitedly powerful is Krishna? So in the first 4 verses now, Uddhava wants to understand Krishna's potencies, but from a different point of view. The potencies we heard described in the previous chapter are indirectly observable. There is a mechanism by which fruitive actions are rewarded. There's a mechanism by which time pushes things forward. So we heard that Krishna is a unifying principle behind all these mechanisms in material existence. These are only observable through their results. But how can Krishna be observed in the material world directly? So that is the question now. So now Krishna, Uddhava is going to ask Krishna. Next one. Shri Uddhava Uvacha. Tvam Brahma Paramam Sakshat Anatyantam Aparitam Sarveshanapi Bhavanam Tranastit Up Yayobhava. Shri Uddhava said, my dear Lord, you are beginningless and endless. The Absolute Truth himself, unlimited by anything else. You are the protector and life giver, the destruction and creation of all things that exist. So this is the concept of what God means. He's unlimited by anything else. Nothing can impose a limitation upon him. Lord Krishna is not only powerful and all-pervading, he gives us life and he protects. So Uddhava is speaking to a person. Text 2. My dear Lord, although it is difficult for the impious to understand you, that you are situated in all superior and inferior creations, those Brahmins who are actual knowers of the Vedic conclusion worship you in truth. So it is difficult for one who is impious to perceive this, because one's piety or lack of piety is reflected in one's consciousness. And one's consciousness is awarding the ability, one's consciousness is awarding one the ability to see or not to see things. For one who is a devotee, Premanjana Churiti Bhaktivedanta. He sees Krishna everywhere and he sees nothing but Krishna. But for someone who lacks spiritual vision, he can't see Krishna or God anywhere. That the cause of the difference in vision is one's consciousness. The different ability to perceive. The one who has love of God and sees God everywhere say that the other one is in delusion. I see him, and the person who is an atheist says that I can't see him anywhere. He says from the other that he creates a God on the basis of what he wants. That was the Freud's conception. It was an immature projection of the father image upon creation, something like that. But reality is independent of anyone's consciousness. And those who are pious don't just stop seeing. Knowing Krishna is there, they worship him and they understand their relationship with him. At the end of the purport of text 1, it is said, in this chapter, Sri Uddhava inquires from the Lord about his spiritual and material opulences in order to refine his appreciation of the Lord's position as the absolute truth. Even Lord Vishnu, the ultimate creator of the material worlds, is an expansion of Lord Krishna. And thus Sri Uddhava wishes to fully appreciate the unique status, the unique position of his friend. It is amazing that Krishna is the source of all these potencies, and Uddhava is speaking with him as a person. He's sitting right in front. He's an unlimited person, and those parts that are described are only an insignificant part of who he is. Now, text 3 and 4. Please tell me of the perfection that great sages achieve by worshipping you with devotion. Also kindly explains which of your different forms they worship. O my Lord, maintainer of all, although you are the super soul of the living entities, you remain hidden. Thus being revealed by you, the living entities cannot see you, although you are seeing them. So he is unseen by bewildered living entities. How does that make you feel that although you can't see him, he's there? When we are criminals, we have a basic criminal mentality, or we are not sure whether we are criminals or honest people. But when we know that we are being watched, we don't like that feeling. However, if a child knows his parents are the overseeing his activities and taking care of him, then there is no problem. Probably here we are in between children and criminals somewhere. That text 5. O supremely potent Lord, please explain to me your innumerable potencies which you manifest on the earth, in heaven, in hell, and indeed in all directions. I offer my humble obeisance at your lotus feet, which are the shelter of all holy places. That so this is 5. The lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places. But Uddhava wants to see the Lord's potencies in different aspects of the universe. And then the Lord replies in verse 6 now. 6. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O best of those who know how to inquire on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna, desiring to fight with his rivals, asked me the same question that you are posing." So Krishna's thoughts were on the battlefield Kurukshetra. Interesting. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna thought that killing his relatives would be abominable. Irreligious activities motivated only by the desire to acquire a kingdom. Therefore, desisted from the battle, thinking, I would be the killer of my relatives. They would be destroyed. Thus Arjuna was afflicted by mundane consciousness. So, Lord Krishna here explains two of the circumstances in which Sri Arjuna posed his questions. So Lord Krishna explained the circumstances under which Arjuna asked this question about how Krishna's opulences are manifested throughout creation. Then Krishna says, I enlightened Arjuna. Enlightened is an interesting English word because that means that he dispelled the darkness, meaning his mundane consciousness of not seeing things accurately. Krishna removes his darkness. In darkness we cannot see when there is light. Then Krishna says in verse 8, at that time I enlightened Arjuna, the Tiger-one man, with logical arguments, and thus in front of the battle Arjuna addressed me with questions in the same way that you are now inquiring. My dear Uddhava, I'm the super soul of all living entities, and therefore I'm not really their well-wisher and supreme controller, being the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of all entities. I am not different from them. So what you could do, if you are interested to do that as a homework, you could go to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. And when there is similarity, please note down the verse in Bhagavad Gita. It would be good to take track of what is similar and what is an additional opulence that are mentioned in this chapter. So we have practically the same subject of the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What is the same, what's different? We will hear. So the feeling that we are separate from Krishna is called Maya, or illusion, which means that we are not seeing things accurately. That's can someone read this purport of 9? Srila Sridhar Swami points out.
Yes, Maharaj. Srila Sridhar Swami points out that the personality of Godhead maintains an ablative and genitive relationship with his opulences. In other words, the Lord is not different from all living entities because they are coming from him and they belong to him. The Lord gave a similar explanation to Arjuna in the 10th canto, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 10.20, beginning with the same words, Aham Atma. Although the Lord describes his external or material opulences, the Lord's position is always transcendental and non-material. Just as the living soul within the body gives life to the body, similarly the Lord by his supreme potency gives life to all universal opulences.
So the Lord is not different from all living entities because they are coming from him and they belong to him. We belong to Krishna. The central point is that when Krishna describes his opulences, that if something stands out in this material world, then it is Krishna's potency which makes that particular thing stand out. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states that he is the life of all that lives. It is Krishna's potency that gives life, and he is obviously present in all exceptional things. Exceptional means all special things in material existence. That the Lord Krishna says in chapter 10, I'm the ability man. Usually, when we have an ability, then it affects our consciousness and we become proud. So rather than becoming proud, we should become humble. 2 points of view. One can think, so Lord Krishna has given me this little spark, a little from Krishna's ocean. Of one can think, it is just given, I did not create it. Suddenly I find myself able to do this, but I did not create it. It's a gift from Krishna. Now, text 10 about time. I'm the ultimate goal of all those seeking progress, and I'm time among those who exert control. I'm the equilibrium of the modes of material nature, and I am natural virtue among the pious. So I think all of you, hopefully you have noted that time is out of your control. It forces the effect upon you. The body will get old and crumble. Sometimes good and sometimes bad results are forced upon you. It is not under our control, it is under the control of Krishna. Time is unstoppable energy. So I'm the equilibrium of the modes of material nature, and I'm natural virtue among the pious. Here's how Krishna exhibits himself. This is Krishna's potency. Krishna is all pious, supremely pious, unlimitedly pious. A pious person shouldn't be proud of his piety, but rather should be humbled by his piety. Truly pious persons are humbled by their piety. Then it says, I'm the equilibrium of the modes of material nature. What does that mean? So the modes are always imbalanced. But in the beginning of creation, Lord Karnodakashaya Vishnu, with its glance, puts the equilibrium of the three modes of nature manifest in Brahman, but then later, with the injection of the living entities, by their desires, the material modes become unbalanced. So text 11. Among things possessing qualities, I am the primary manifestation of nature. And among great things, I am the total material creation. Among subtle things, I am the spirit soul, and of things that are difficult to conquer, I am the mind. Among great things, I am the total creation, Krishna says. So that is Krishna. But this is not just a generator, he's also part of it. But he's independent at the same time. Among subtle things is the spirit soul. Why is the spirit soul subtle? What is the meaning of subtle? It's beyond matter. And therefore, it's very difficult to perceive. It's even beyond subtle matter. Subtle doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Like if you put the smallest amount of arsenic or poison within the body will die. Subtle doesn't mean that it does not exist. Subtle things have effect. What is the effect of the spirit soul? How do we know the spirit soul is present within a body? What is causing my consciousness? No one can put chemicals together and make a conscious being. I'm the mind, difficult to conquer. The mind represents Krishna. The mind is the king of all senses, and it is practically unconquerable. Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita calls the mind flickering, obnoxious, and more difficult to control than the wind. Now we will read a few verses. Among the Vedas, I'm the original teacher, Lord Brahma, and of all mantras, I'm the three-lettered Omkar. Among letters, I'm the first letter A, and among sacred meters, I'm the Gayatri mantra. Among the demigods, I'm Indra. Among the Vasus, I'm Agni, the god of fire. I'm Vishnu among the sons of Aditi, and among the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. And among saintly Brahmins, I'm Brihamuni, and I'm Manu among saintly kings. I'm Narada Muni among saintly demigods, and I'm Kamadeni Denu among cows. So I am Lord Kapila among perfected beings, and Garuda among birds. I'm Daksha among the progenitors of mankind, and I'm Aryama among the forefathers. 16. My dear Uddhava, among the demoniac sons of Diti, know me to be Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly lord of the Asuras. Among the stars and herbs, I'm the Lord Chandra. And among Yakshas and Rakshasas, I'm the Lord of Wealth Kuvera. So before it was mentioned, the Kamadeni was mentioned. And in Pujan said, in Bangladesh, a cow that gives milk without having a calf is called Kamadeni. Interesting. So here it said, I am the Lord of Wealth Kuvera. How does Kuvera looks like? Does anyone know how Kuvera looks like? No. Never seen Kuvera? No one? Okay. I found something on Wikipedia.
I have seen that, I don't remember.
Yeah. Please?
We might have seen him, but we don't remember.
You don't remember. So it's said here, Kuvera is often depicted as a dwarf with complexion of lotus leaves and a big belly. He's described as having 3 legs, only 8 teeth, 1 eye, and being adorned with jewels. He's sometimes depicted riding a man. The descriptions of deformities like the broken teeth, 3 legs, 3 heads, and 4 arms appear only later in Puranic text. Kuvera holds a mace, a pomegranate, or a monebag in his hands. He may also carry a sheaf of jewels or of a mongoose with him. In Tibet, the mongoose is considered a symbol of Kuvera's victory over Nagas, the guardians of treasures. Anyway, that's the description I found. Now text 17. About I'm Aryavata among lordly elephants, and among aquatics I'm Varuna, the lord of the seas. Among all things that heat and illuminate, I'm the sun, and among human beings, I'm the king. So even government rulers, they have Shakti. They carry the Shakti of Krishna. So different people, according to different minds, have different philosophies and propose different religious paths within a closed box of the three modes of material nature. Krishna puts the potency to speculate in them, and they come up with a unique philosophical point. But it's only the modes of nature, and Krishna gives them gives them with that ability. Yet it is not fully accurate in their conclusion. However, it is Krishna's gift that they can do this, and it gives so much pleasure for this type of philosophers to play around on the intellectual platform. Thus they become convinced of this idea is right and adjusted in this way. They experience much subtle pleasure on that platform, but that subtle pleasure, of course, it is pleasure because it's Krishna's potency, but it isn't the supreme pleasure. So after the speculators, we will hear now. I went a little ahead. 18. Among horses, I'm Ushaishrava, and I'm gold among metals. I'm Yamaraj among those who suppress and punish. Among the serpents, I'm Vasuki. Sinless, Uddhava. Among the snakes, I'm Anantadev, and among those animals with sharp horns, thieves, I'm the lion. Among the social orders, I'm the fourth order of the renounced order of life, and among the occupational divisions, I'm the first, the Brahmins. Among sacred and flowing things, I'm the holy Ganges. And among steady bodies of water, I'm the ocean. Among weapons, I'm the bow, and of wielders of weapons, I'm Lord Shiva. Among residents, I'm Mount Sumera, and of impervious places, I'm the Himalayas. And among trees, I'm the holy fig tree. And among plants, I'm those that bear grains. Among priests, I'm Vasistha Muni. And among those highly situated in Vedic culture, I'm Brihaspati. I'm Kartikeya among great military leaders, and among those advancing in superior ways of life, I'm the great personality, Lord Brahma. Among sacrifice, I'm the study of the Veda, and among non-violence, I'm non-violence among vows. Among all things that purify the wind, fire, sun, water, and speech. Among the 8 progressive states of yoga, I'm the final state, Samadhi, in which the soul is completely separate from illusion. Among those desiring victory, I'm prudent, political counsel. And among processes of expert discrimination, I'm the science of the soul by which one distinguishes spirit from matter. Among all speculative philosophers, I'm the diversity of perfection. So I commented on that before. Now text 25. Among ladies, I'm Satarupa. Among male personalities, I'm her husband, Swambhuva. I'm Narayan among the sages and Sanat Kumar among brahmacharis. So Satarupa and Swambhuva are the first human beings which were created by Brahma. And that's, yeah, very, very special. They could, by union, they could create new bodies. And that was new, specific, this human body is very special in that sense. 26. Among religious principles, I am renunciation, and of all types of security, I am consciousness of the eternal soul within. That of secrets, I am pleasant speech and silent, and among sexual pairs, I am Brahma. So it said among all type of security, it's a consciousness of the eternal soul. That means we are eternally conscious. Maybe covered sometimes by the material energy, but living entity is always conscious. Among all types of security, that Krishna is saying, I'm all kinds of security. That our consciousness is always secure. It's always there. Maybe covered, but it's always there. So among all kinds of security, does not mean that Krishna says I'm the credit card, but eternal consciousness is better than the 3 digits on the back of your credit card or so. Secrets. That I think that's from one of these great sages. He said, 2 people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. As I say, I'm the secret. That, yes, of all secrets, I'm pleasant speech and silence, it says, silence. That So why is Brahma among sexual pairs? Yeah. We will try to find out. Can someone read the purport?
One who realizes the eternal soul within no longer fears any material situation, and thus he is qualified to accept the renounced order of life, sannyasa. Certainly, fear is one of the great miseries of material life. Therefore, the gift of fearlessness is very valuable and represents Lord Krishna, both in ordinary pleasant speech and silence. Very few confidential things are revealed, and thus diplomacy and silence are both aids to secrecy. Lord Brahma is prominent among sexual pairs because the original beautiful couple, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatrupa, emerged from Lord Brahma's body, as explained in chapter 12 of 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
But that's the reason why Brahma is among sexual pairs. Now, the month of Kartik. Among the vigilant cycles of time, I'm the air. Among seasons, I'm spring. Among the months, I'm Margasira. And among lunar houses, I'm the auspicious Abhijit. So the month after Kartik is Margasira. So Kartik is different from Margasira. Margasirsa is different. Yeah. It says here, as it says in the Sanskrit. Yeah, Margasira. Among the Masanam, the monks are Margasira. So Margasira is the month after Kartik. That's text 29. That's what I understood. Among sages, I'm the Satya Yuga, age of truth. And among study sages, I'm Devala and Asita. Among those who have divided the Vedas, I'm Krishna, Dvaitpayan, Veda Vyas. And among learned scholars, I'm Sukacharya, the knower of spiritual science. Asita, Devala, Vyas. They are mentioned in the 4th chapter, where Krishna said, where Arjuna prays to Krishna. Where I see Krishna as Paramdam. 29. Among those entitled to the name Bhagavan, I'm Vasudeva. And indeed you, Uddhava, represent me among the devotees. I'm Hanuman among the Kimpurushas. And among the Vidyadharis, I'm Sudarshan. So Uddhava is also mentioned. 30. Among jewels, I'm the ruby. And among beautiful things, I'm the lotus cup. Among all types of grass, I'm the sacred kusa. And of oblations, I'm ghee and other ingredients obtained from the cow. Can someone read the purport, Panchagavya?
Yes, Maharaj.
Panchagavya refers to 5 sacrificial ingredients obtained from the cow, namely milk, ghee, yogurt, dung, and urine. The cow is so valuable that even its dung and urine are antiseptic and fit for sacrificial offering. Kusha grass is also used for religious occasions. Maharaj Parikshit constructed a sitting place from the Kusha grass during the last week of his life. Among beautiful things, the lotus cup formed by the lotus petals represents Lord Krishna. And among jewels, the ruby, which is similar to Lord Krishna's own Kaustubha gem, symbolizes the potency of the Lord.
Thank you. 31. Among the enterprising, I'm fortune, and among the cheaters, I'm gambling. Among the forgiveness of the tolerant, and I'm the forgiveness of the tolerant, and the good qualities of those in a mode of goodness. Of the powerful, I'm bodily and mental strength, and I'm the devotional activities of my devotees. My devotees worship me in nine different forms, among which I'm the original and primary Vasudeva. So these forms are described. Someone can read, generally the Vaishnavas.
Generally, the Vaishnavas worship the personality of Godhead as Vasudeva Sankarshan, Pradyumna Aniruddha, Narayana Hayagriva, Varaha Nrsimha, and Brahma. It is understood that when a suitable living entity is not available to fill the post of Brahma, the Lord himself assumes the position. Therefore, Lord Brahma is mentioned in the list. Lord Vishnu sometimes appears as Indra and sometimes as Brahma, and it is Vishnu appearing as Brahma who is indicated in this connection.
Thank you. Yeah. 33. Among the Gandharvas, I am Vishvavasu, and among Purvachiti, I am the heavenly Apsaras. I am the steadiness of mountains and the fragrant aroma of the earth. Yeah. So the earth is smell. Yeah, Punyo Gandha Pratipyamsa from Bhagavad Gita. 30. So above you have earth is smell, and among water is taste. Prabhupada says in a lecture, even a drunkard who drinks wine and remembers this can become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada said this, but this is not our process, of course. Yes, Srinivas Gopal.
Maharaj, these apsaras are not in a what is that called, a respectable position. They are the dancing girls, or they are like used like in a different way by demigods. Why Lord want to be that?
Yeah, whether we see things as good or bad, Krishna is also the bad things, exceptional bad things. These are also his opulences. But yeah, good or bad, we see in relation to this material world. That, but everything what gives extraordinary power, then that is representation of the Lord, and they have that power. So Prabhupada said also about some historical great leaders in recent world wars, that they were Saktya ways avatars, that they were empowered by Krishna to do some work of destruction. Yeah. So yeah, It's good and bad, but the apsaras, they are not to be compared with the prostitutes in this world. No, the prostitute is gross sense gratification. But they are dancing girls, and they like that. And they dance for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, because they are devotees. And Krishna empowers them to dance, and that is mentioned here. Hare Krishna. Okay,
Thank you, Maharaj.
25. Among those dedicated to Brahminical culture, I'm Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochan, and I'm Arjuna among heroes. Indeed, I'm the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of all living entities. We see Uddhava is mentioned, and Narada Muni was mentioned. Swambhuva, all these great personalities, they play a role in the pastimes of Krishna, or of a principal role in the creation. They are not ordinary. 36. So I'm the functions of the 5 working senses, the legs, speech, anus, hands, and sex organs, as well as those 5 knowledge-acquiring senses, touch, sight, taste, hearing, and smell. I'm also the potencies by which each of the senses experience its particular sense object. Well, that's so Krishna gives us the potency to walk. If Krishna withdraws his potency, then we cannot walk. 36, 37 now. I'm form, taste, aroma, touch, and sound, false ego, the Mahatattva, earth, water, fire, air, and sky, the living entity, material nature, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and the transcendental Lord. All these items, along with knowledge of their individual symptoms and the steady conviction that results from this knowledge, represent me. So, similar verses has been expressed throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, but this is somewhat unique. That so it says, yeah, that the same is stated. I can try to show you that just a moment. So 2740 scheduled incarnations, 40. Who can describe complete prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientists who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only, of his form of Trivikram, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet Satyaloka, up to the neutral state of the 3 modes of material nature, and all were moved. That yeah, but I have another verse that is related to that. Krishna's potencies 8, 5, 6. All the great activities of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme of God's various incarnations are wonderfully described. Sometimes we are unable to understand them, yet everything is possible for Lord Vishnu. If one could count the atoms of the universe, then he could count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But no one can count the atoms of the universe, nor can anyone count the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So his potencies, and then also the Brahma Moma Lila. In time, learned philosophers or scientists may be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particles of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiated of the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among the learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended on the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities? We then go back. Yeah. So these are all these qualities here which are mentioned in this verse 38. In at the moment it's in 39. As a Supreme Lord, I am the base of the living entities, of the modes of nature, of the thought bodies. I am everything and nothing whatsoever can exist without me. For though over a period of time I might count all the atoms of the universe, I could not count all of my opulences, which I manifest within the innumerable verses. So the other verses that I quote are related to this. They could not count all the opulences of the Lord. So now, what to speak of the opulences of the spiritual world, if we cannot count the opulences in this world? That 40. Whatever power, beauty, fame, opulence, humility, renunciation, mental pleasure, fortune, strength, tolerance, or spiritual knowledge there may be, is simply an expansion of my opulence. So they are Krishna's potencies. So we should never be proud that this is an opportunity to be always Krishna conscious. 41. I briefly described to you all my spiritual opulences and also the extraordinary material features of my creation, which are perceived by the mind and defined in different ways according to circumstances. So there's a commentary here. It's a long commentary, but near to the end. That there somewhere the different personalities. Yeah, can someone read from here? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura comments as follows on this verse. The Lord's external opulences are called manovikaraha, or related to the mental transformation, because ordinary people perceive extraordinary features of this material world according to their personal state of mind. Thus the word vachabhidhiyate indicates that conditioned souls describe the Lord's material creation according to specific material circumstances. Because of the circumstantial relative definitions of material opulence, such opulence is never to be considered a direct plenary manifestation of the Lord's personal form. When one's state of mind is transformed into a favorable or affectionate state, one defines a manifestation of the Lord's energy as my son, my father, my husband, my uncle, the son of my brother, my friend, and so on. One forgets that every living entity is actually part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that whatever opulences, talents, or outstanding features one may exhibit are actually the potencies of the Lord. Similarly, when the mind is transformed into a negative or inimical state, one thinks, this person will be the ruin of me. This person must be finished by me. He is my enemy, or I am his enemy. He is a killer, or he should be killed. The negative state of mind is also expressed when one is attracted to the extraordinary material aspects of particular persons, objects, but forgets. The negative state of mind is also expressed when one is attracted to extraordinary material aspects of particular persons or objects, but forgets that they are manifestations of the potencies of the personality of Godhead. Even the demigod Indra, who is quite obviously a manifestation of Lord's marginal material opulences, is misunderstood by others. For example, Indra's wife, Sachi, thinks that Indra is my husband, whereas Aditi thinks that he is my son. Jayanta thinks that he is my father. Brihaspati thinks that he is my disciple, whereas the demons feel that Indra is their personal enemy. Thus, different personalities define him according to their mental state. The Lord's material opulences, being relatively perceived, are therefore called manovikara, which means they are dependent on mental states. This relative perception is material because it does not recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the actual source of the particular opulence. If one sees Lord Krishna as the source of all opulences and gives up all desires to enjoy or possess the Lord's opulences, then one can see the spiritual nature of these opulences. At that time, even though one may continue to perceive the variety and distinctions of material world, one will become perfect in Krishna consciousness. Sorry, Maharaj, I'm not here. One should not conclude, as do the voidist philosophers, that the Lord's spiritual manifestation is the Vishnu Tattva and liberated Jiva categories are also products of relative perception and mental states. This useless idea is contrary to the entire body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's teachings to Sri Uddhava. Thank you, Maharaj. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Vacha also indicates the various Vedic literatures that describe the particular process by which the Lord manifests his spiritual and material opulences. And in this context, Yatha indicates the specific procedures of manifestation and creation.
Yeah. When Srila Prabhupada was in Calcutta during the Second World War, the Japanese were bombing Calcutta and the bombs were falling. And his wife had made kachoris and he first finished peacefully his breakfast. He didn't run to shelters like others. And but he saw the bombs as part of Krishna's universal form. Of course, not the most attractive part, but it saw it also as Krishna. Text 42, yeah, seeing things positive or negative, the duality of the bombs. Therefore, control your speaking, subdue the mind, conquer the live air. Regulate the senses, and to a purified intelligence, bring your rational faculties under control. In this way, you will never again fall into the path of material existence. So that's 42. Yeah. So we need to use our intelligence to control our mind. Otherwise, we cannot make spiritual advancement. That's the essence. Text 33. 43. A transcendentalist who does not completely control his words and mind by superior intelligence will find that the spiritual vows, austerity, and charity flow away just as water out of an unbaked clay pot. And so this is 42, yeah, 43. But before we come to this is a very heavy point, 43. But let's read first the purport of 42. That in the beginning, one should see all things as expansions of the Supreme Lord's potency, and thus with speech, mind, and words should offer respect to all things without minimizing any living entity or material object. Since everything belongs to the Lord, everything ultimately should be engaged in the Lord's service with great care. It's just 43. This is then that very heavy point, how to do this. A transcendentalist who does not complete control his words and mind by superior intelligence will find that the spiritual vows, austerity, and charity flow away, just as water out of an unbaked clay pot. Can someone read the purport, please?
When a clay pot is properly baked, it holds any liquid substance without leakage. If a clay pot is not properly baked, however, water or any other liquid within it will seep out and be lost. Similarly, a transcendentalist who does not control his speech and mind will find that his spiritual discipline and austerity gradually seep away and are lost. Dana or charity refers to work performed for the welfare of others. Those who are trying to give the highest charity by preaching Krishna consciousness should not engage in speaking cleverly for the satisfaction of beautiful women, nor should they attempt to become artificially intelligent simply for the sake of mundane academic prestige. One should not even think of intimate sexual relationships, nor should one daydream of acquiring a prestigious position. Otherwise, one's determination to strictly practice Krishna consciousness will be lost, as described here. One must control the mind, senses, and speech by higher intelligence so that one's life will be successful.
Yes. A straightforward advice. 44. Being surrendered to me, one should control speech, mind, and life air. And then through loving devotion, intelligence, one will completely fulfill the mission of life. But one can develop loving devotion and intelligence by perfectly chanting the Brahma Gayatri mantra, awarded at the moment of Brahman initiation. By clear intelligence, one becomes naturally and spontaneously disinterested in the rewards offered by mental speculation and fruitive activity, and takes full shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the end of the 16th chapter. My question to you is, what is the difference between this more than 80 opulences in Bhagavad Gita and the opulences of Krishna mentioned in this chapter? What did you hear in this chapter which is not in Bhagavad Gita? Mm-hmm.
The ending is different, we can say.
Probably. Please.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna just said that you should understand whatever is beautiful, powerful, and whatever is great, you should understand it, my opulence. And then he said that I'm holding the entire creation with the spark of my splendor.
Yeah.
But here, the ending is completely different. here, after explaining the opulence, Krishna goes on to explain some more details of how the opulence is perceived by different people. And he is also saying that how a transcendentalist should use this knowledge.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, we can say that their more broad view of the relevance of the opulence is given, but here is a little bit more analysis is there.
Mm-hmm. Krishna says, I briefly described to you all my spiritual opulences. In Bhagavad Gita, he said, this is only a spark and splendor of my opulences. That's, yeah. And also the extraordinary material feature of my creation, which are perceived by the mind and refined in various ways. Thank you. That's a good point. Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
In the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, we see the Chatushloki, whereas we don't see that kind of a specific aspect here.
No, that's not mentioned. The Chatushloka in the 10th chapter is before the mentioning of the more than 80 opulences. But yes, the introduction is not there. That is, yeah. And he speaks about the Mat Tattvas, one of his opulences. And taste. And form, taste. Krishna is more specific in Bhagavad Gita there. And the taste of water. I have the smell of the earth. Ganga. Yeah. And the legs. And Bali Maharaj, he says that Arjuna is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. That Vishvavasya, and Purvashiti, and the steadiness of mountains, yeah. That speaks also about Himalayas, but it's different. Bhagavad Gita is among the immovable things are Himalayas. Kusha grass, he says. Yeah. And Hanuman is mentioned here. And Sudarshan, that's also not in Bhagavad Gita. And Veda Vyas, yeah, that's okay. Margasira. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita says also on the cheaters and cheating potency and gambling. For Kumarasan, here Satarupa, among the ladies I'm Satarupa, and among the men it's Vambhuvaman. That's also not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. That I'm among the 8 progressive states of yoga, I'm the final state, Samadhi. That's also specific here. I'm the political council. I'm the signs of the soul. It's also that, and the study of the Vedas, the purifiers and the winds. Yeah. Practically also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. These are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, most of them. Among the trees, I'm the holy fig tree and the banyan tree. That among the impervious places, I'm the Himalayas. That's also in Bhagavad Gita, on the immovable places. But among the mountains, I'm Meru. That's not here. That's in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, yeah. Now, Ushashava is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, also Yamaraj. Serpents Vasuki also. And that's Aravata also. It's quite the same at the beginning as Bhagavad Gita. Alat Maharaj, yeah. And Kuvera, so Bhagavad Gita. Aryama also, Kapila also. Among the Kamadenu, among the cows, Kamadenu. Don't think that's in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, yeah, Aditi, Buddha's Shiva, that's also in Bhagavad Gita. On the sacred meals, Amkaya, Omkar. On things that are difficult to conquer, I'm the mind. That's also special here. That, yeah. So we see like maybe half of it is the same of Bhagavad Gita, but the other half is different. That you could make an analysis like this. But, yeah. Good. Any further questions or comments on this chapter? So, Mother Asamai.
Maharaj, I don't know, it's a silly question maybe. Here, Krishna, Krishna is saying that amongst the serpents, I'm Vasuki, and among the snakes, I'm Anantadeva. So what's the difference?
Yeah, the serpents, Vasuki, yeah, that's clear. But Anantadeva is his expansion. That, yeah, therefore probably it's another category, and he mentioned it separately because it's another category. It's direct expansion. Oh, nicely that you have remarked this. Thank you. That's good. Maharaj,
Maharaj, I want to respond to Mataji's question.
yeah, please.
Maharaj, this Vasuki and Ananta. Ananta is multi-hooded snake.
Yeah.
They are called Naga.
Naga.
And one hooded snake is called Sarpa. So among Sarpa is Vasuki, and among Nagas is Anantashesh, who are different categories.
Okay, different categories, confirmed. Thank you.
So that means in English language, they don't have the synonym for that.
Yeah. It's more
Translation for that.
more specific in the Sanskrit and more clear.
In Bhagavad Gita, English translation, it is clear.
Yeah.
The same thing is there in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
But you say Bhagavad Gita English translation, it is clear.
Yeah, there it's clear. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhu.
Good. So thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be with you for these 2 units. But the Uddhava Gita is not at this end. We are more or less nearly halfway. Krishna you will hear further description of the Varnashram system and Varnashram Dharma, that you will hear about the perfection of spiritual knowledge, that about pure devotional service, all which surpasses knowledge and attachment. And there's an explanation of the Vedic path. Then the Sankhya again, enumeration of the elements of material creation, the philosophy connected with. Then we will hear about Avanti Brahman, and then the purpose of Sankhya philosophy, the 3 modes of nature again. That and so it continues. We are not yet halfway in Uddhava Gita, so you will have a few more weeks nectar to go with Krishna and Arjuna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. On behalf of Mayapur Institute, we would like to thank you for your diligence teaching and adding so many commentaries from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, bringing us into discussions, answering questions very patiently. So thank you very much, Maharaj. Looking forward for association in future.
Yeah, please forgive my offenses and my imperfections. I'm also trying to serve Srila Prabhupada in his mission, and that what I'm depending on his mercy to continue. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Right.
Bhakti Prabhu Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Right.